Ladies and gentlemen, filmmakers and moviegoers alike. Hey, this is great casual. It's time. I'm Steven, Srekcuf. That's Dorkydev. Hi, Dev. What's up?
Okay, okay.
It makes sense. I just didn't put the comma in there.
From now on,
This is my show, so you're not going to tell me how I'm going to introduce you. I'm kidding.
yes, I will.
Because you will always be Dorky Dev and Dev.
If you're gonna do it that way, do Dev or Dorky Dev. Do Dev first, not Dorky Dev, because that sounds really stupid.
Well,
That or you sound like Fred Bug
I'm
with two
Fred
G's.
Fredberger, actually. Fred Burger.
No, that's not what I'm going for. People who know the reference I just made will know the reference I'm making.
All right. Is there anything else we want to talk about before we get into the movies?
It's fucking snowing.
It's snowing. Well, lucky.
I hate it.
I love the snow. For
You've never had to deal with the snow like I've had to deal with the snow. You've never lived somewhere like that.
No, well,
What's the most Flagstaff gets?
let me double check. Flagstaff snow season snow per year. Flagstaff gets an average of uh 1.3 inches per snow, with an annual snowfall averaging of about 11.6 inches on the ground. So 12 feet of snow. Or 1 foot of snow. Annual snowfall is about 90.1 inches in a year.
Wenatchee's average snowfall
Let's say you forget. Flagstaff is at 7,000 feet.
is 28 inches per year.
Yeah. So Flagstaff gets 3 times as much snow as Wenatchee?
No, you said yours was 11 inches per year.
At the ground, on the ground at one point in time. It says annually throughout the whole year, it gets 90.1 inches.
That's not accurate.
Hang on, let me press a button here. Windows News with a View. There we go. All right, well, so according to ArizonaDailySun.com, in Flagstaff, per snow you get 1.3 inches. Average snowfall is 11.6 inches, and the National Weather Service now lists Flagstaff annual snow service at 90.1 inches a year as of May 12th of 2021.
There's no way that is accurate.
It averaged, this one says in 2015 it averaged 101.7 inches of snow.
Are we talking the city of Flagstaff or the greater Flagstaff area?
I'm pretty sure there's just the city of Flagstaff. I mean, I don't think it really matters. Just know that Northern Arizona is considered one of the top 10 snowiest campuses in all of the U.S. So, that's a thing that I know off the top of my head. I don't know which one. Let's see.
Then why the fuck do you like snow?
Because I like snow.
It does awful things when it comes.
It's because people are dumb. But
not just people are dumb. Steven, black ice. Need I say more?
no tires and chains.
You can't use those throughout the city all day. Also, getting the fuck out of places.
That's hard.
Once you get barricaded in. Fucking digging out your fucking pavement every fucking day to get out.
Did you see the ticket I got in Flagstaff where my car was literally buried under snow and the guy uncovered my car to put the ticket on and then it was reburied in snow afterwards? So I didn't know I got the ticket until like a week later when I was unshoveling my car.
No, I've never heard about that.
I'll have to tell you another
But
time then.
this does add to my point of why the fuck do you like snow?
You know, hard to say. I
Like,
just
sure, the aesthetic, but
mhm.
like everything that comes with it
my
sucks.
my favorite memories from college are being awake at like 7 in the morning, being completely bundled up in my snow gear, and just walking to classes in the snow all by myself in the low dim lighting. Like I just loved how serene and calm it was with all like I literally was the only one who would build like an igloo whenever it snowed. I tried almost every time. I just never had enough time to finish it. I like the snow. We lived in the desert. How can you not like the snow when all we got was dust? And I understand why, but still.
I dislike both,
Desert
Steven.
sucks.
I dislike desert more. I
Mm-hmm.
fully agree with you there. I'd rather deal with like a snow area.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with snow is that it is dangerous.
It can be, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I liked it. And I was going to say that we were going to keep this a short show, but we've already gone off topic for 5 minutes. My hope is to make this show no longer than 45 minutes, maybe an hour. Because tomorrow I'm waking up at 3 a.m. Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. So for today, is there anything else we want to talk about before we
Nope.
get in? All right, just making sure. Today I call this week Binge and Feast because we're talking about vampire movies, and we're talking about Blood Red Sky and Night Teeth. Yep. Okay. Anything else you want to say? No, probably not. All right, just making sure. All right, let's get in here. Let's start talking about the first movie, Blood Red Sky. Ooh, that's a fun one. I forgot to pull up my IMDb. Fuck. I'm such
Yeah.
a perfect.
hmm So this was released July 23rd of 2021 in the United States. Um, Budget of 15 million euros, gross worldwide about like 400,000. Yeah,
Movie's
this
boring.
yeah, you didn't even let me get to where I was gonna go with it too. I was gonna hit that, but I can explain why it was how it was like it definitively how boring it was.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, I had just gotten off of work
Mm-hmm.
after like not sleeping before a 3 a.m. shift, after only sleeping 2 hours before like a 10-hour shift from 8 to like 7, no, 11-hour shift. So, I was a little tired, but like something that's really hard for me to do is fall asleep watching something. Like I can have something playing in the background, but if
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at something, for some reason my brain engages. So I was watching this around like let's say 3 o'clock.
3 in
Woke
the
up at
afternoon.
midnight.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Wow. Wow. You got a full 8 hours of sleep because of this movie, man.
I got 20 minutes in, maybe, maybe before I passed out, which preceded um my Wednesday with s- being like, fuck it, I'm up at midnight. Might as well start watching these. So, watch both movies. Watch this one first, because technically I was gonna watch it. I was gonna watch Night Teeth and be straight up like, I'm not gonna go back. I'll be honest about it. But I had time, so I went, fuck it, I'll do it. Really wish I would have gone with option one. Um, because man, I didn't miss much. I didn't miss much at all.
No.
It can we just like stop? We can't stop dubbing. I know.
Mhm.
Um, multiple markets and stuff like
Mm.
that.
For anyone who doesn't know, this movie was made in Germany. It's a German film, and it was dubbed over to English with possibly what some of the worst American voice actors I've heard.
It would have been better subtitled.
Yeah, 100%.
It just would have. Like I don't know.
Because
I don't know how else to put it.
I think a lot of it has to do with the son voice actor that they chose. Like he's the one who we keep with the whole time, and the delivery of that voice actor was awful every single time. I bet you I mean I don't know who it was, but my first guess was it was a lady who tried to do a younger voice, and um just I mean I don't know, I really don't know. It
I don't
just
know either.
it just was bad. And for me, a big part of this too, not only like the dubbing and the slow pace, but like it's the fact that this whole thing is kind of like coincidental. Like, it's hard. It's not really hard to explain, but a small bias that I have when it comes to movies is if what happens is kind of like circumstantial, where it's like a coincidence that this thing happens, then I'm not as engaged. So in this
There are
movie,
certain times where I'll allow it. Like Spider-Man's an example of coincidence, but like the coincidence is part of Spider-Man's story. Does that make sense? Like, because
but
like
yeah,
that is like that is part of the story.
but
Like,
in this one, like the whole premise is a coincidence
yes,
because it's
everything that happens is a
yeah,
coincidence.
like it's vampires on a plane is the what I sold to you. But that's not what this is. What it is a vampire on the plane that happens to get hijacked.
Would
So
have been a far better explanation for this movie.
hmm, yeah. So the woman who is the vampire is supposed to be like our anti-hero throughout the whole movie, and
Oh God,
yeah.
I hate it, dude. It's not like, and I feel like, in all honesty, this movie, we would have seen a better version of this if we had just seen a version that was just subtitled. Like, I feel like it would have been like, I feel like that would have increased my enjoyment of this movie tenfold. But because of like the terrible dubbing, it just like I can't even get past that half the time because it's not good. But then on top of that, like like we said, the conveniences, and then on top of that, just nothing happens.
I think.
Like
Sorry, go ahead.
nothing. Like nothing. Like there is I can describe the entire plot of this movie in a paragraph. And sure that's great for an elevator pitch.
Mm-hmm. It's
But
bad
in
for
that
like a review.
paragraph, I shouldn't be able to give you the entire story.
Eh,
Like
There's parts of the story. Oh, I just remembered. I had this moment. This movie also, by the way, for anyone who hasn't watched it yet, takes place in a flashback. The movie begins with the plane landing, and then two people we get to see who are main characters, kind of.
I forgot it takes place in a flashback until you just brought that up. That finally dawned on me.
Yeah.
Oh my
So the
god.
whole movie is a flashback, but to top it all off, there's a flashback within a flashback where the person who's flashbacking is the kid, but the flashback within the flashback is the mom flashbacking to a different time. So
Oh
not
my
only
god, that just makes it worse.
yeah, so that's fun.
Uh, not, uh, you're not supposed to do that.
It's flashbackception. The only part of this movie that I liked was the vampire design. But
I
even,
didn't.
but even then, it was very simple because for one person, they actually went out and they like made her eyes different. They made her skin tones different. They gave her interesting things that changed throughout the entire movie. Um, that was cool. But then everything else that we see, like all the other stuff that happens, it's very simple. Just the same thing over and over and over. And I mean, they tried. They attempted to do a one set movie in this, where everything takes place on one set and whatever, but it's just wasn't good. It was how many hours? 2 hours long. It was a boring 2 hours. I probably would not recommend this to anybody.
No.
And not even like vampire. Like, I know a lot of people, strangely enough, who like vampire stuff.
I couldn't. I can't believe that.
Yeah. Like, if you give me
You, of
literally
all people.
20 seconds here to walk over to the shelf, I can pull open a literal textbook called The Vampire Book, which has like references and
Don't you mean the Anger River book?
the what? Yeah. But it's literally an encyclopedia of everything vampire.
You mean it's the Via Esiderio?
Yes, sure.
You know what I'm getting at, right?
Pig Latin? No.
No, because they can't read it, Steven.
There's even literally Dracula from the Marvel comic books. That's in here.
They can't see it, Steven. They can't read backwards.
Doesn't matter. As long as I can say it to you, you understand.
Yes, but you're using it as a visual medium.
Yeah, I'm pointing it out to you. I understand.
This is why I flip mine when I host.
Really does.
It does when you suddenly bring up
what I'm showing doesn't matter. It's just an example. Like, it doesn't matter if you could actually read it. You and I both know, and the people who are listening can infer that there is literally a book in my hand that says The Vampire Book. It does. No one has
who
to
are
read
just
it.
watching.
You don't have to be able to read it that says The Vampire Book. You can trust that I'm saying.
What if the audio cuts out when you say it or something? Huh?
Well,
Huh?
I think I've said it enough times that they understand.
You never know. It could be a weird curse thing where, like, that word just like doesn't get processed through correctly.
I was trying to think. I saw a show where that happened recently. Not to that degree, but whatever. I really haven't got anything else in this movie.
No, I really don't either, dude. There's nothing. This is
like I at least
said we were gonna do this week.
Mm-hmm.
I knew, at least with this one, that I wasn't going to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
But to the degree I didn't enjoy it, I didn't expect. And, like, I will be honest, this movie probably would get, like, 2 extra points, maybe 3, just to be subbed. Like, I know I'm sounding like a snob here, dubbed.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, there are certain things in media that translate better with when you have, like, when you're acting out a scene or something. I don't know, man. It's just,
Sometimes you just need the original voice.
yeah, you do.
So here's your popcorn kernels, Dev. You get 10 of them.
3.5.
3.5. Nice. I was giving it a 4. Like, normally, if I didn't want to rush this show through and we talked about it a little more, I would probably give it a 5 because this movie exists and technically it's okay. Just so fucking boring. But no, this not worth it. We don't have the time.
I'm gonna be honest. Even if we were doing a longer show,
mm-hmm.
I don't see the conversation on this movie going much longer, if at all.
I mean, I see that too.
Because what else would you talk about?
The
cinematography that is like just every other plane based.
Yeah, it's just
movie.
very basic and simple. Well, not basic, but like there's no room for cool things, so there aren't any cool things.
The few times we get CGI from the plane outer perspective, where it is noticeably not a real plane.
A couple of those. Maybe talk about what the plan of the terrorist group was, because ultimately there was no plan that we know of. They just hijacked.
Yeah,
the
it doesn't
plane.
matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like literally, you saying like that there was a plan.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't matter because it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. And that's part of the reason, like I said, with the coincidence stuff. Literally, I wanted a movie like Snakes on a Plane, but with vampires. Like Snakes on a Plane is a bad movie, but at least it's funny. You know, this movie wasn't even funny. It was a bad movie. It doesn't have Samuel L. Jackson telling me to get these motherfucking vampires off this motherfucking plane. Like, just boring. Especially too because it's like I'm going to this. Her whole reason of traveling is like getting medical stuff done, and it makes me wonder, like, no, it does. This movie doesn't even need me wondering. There's no point in trying to think about the befores and afters of this movie because it doesn't matter. It's so bad that it doesn't deserve it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Unless anyone in the chat has questions. Anyone in chat? No? All right, too bad. We're moving
Okay,
on.
why are you just suddenly doing that after how long since the last time you've done that?
No idea. Why are you calling me out? Anyways, just let me do my thing.
Because I'm gonna call out things that are weird, okay? It's what I do.
Maybe I forgot about asking people beforehand until just now, huh?
No, you didn't.
Let's talk about movie 2. Let's just get in there.
19th,
19th.
released October 20th, 2021. No budget or anything like that because it's just straight to Netflix. Huh.
Huh?
I'm just trying to think of where to go with this one.
I can give you a brief rundown really fast. My ultimate rundown on this movie is better than Blood Red Sky.
Yes.
I liked the color. Like this movie, I would consider a neon noir movie because it's just so vibrantly colorful in all of its scenes that I thought it was really nice. Ultimately, though, I don't like the ending, only because I don't like the love plot. If this was a different story of like our characters interacting with each other, and it wasn't like this teen novel, horny at the tip of a tip of someone's tongue, kind of like maybe they will, maybe they won't kind of thing. I might enjoy it better, but I mean, it's ultimately not a bad movie. I liked the characters. I liked the premise. I loved the cinematography and the colors. The characters were nice in their development with each other. Like the only thing I don't like. Uh-oh. What happened? Oh no. Ah, that hasn't happened before, and it just broke. Well, it didn't break, but I need a second here to fix my camera. Because technical difficulties are dumb. You want to say something so it's just not my awful grunts? Sleeping doesn't count. Uh,
Wait, can you not see yourself on the screen right now?
what was that?
Were you not able to see that yourself that entire time?
Not the entire time, no. Just for a brief frame. My camera has shut off.
Oh, I was able to see you during that entire repair time.
Okay. My camera shut off on my side over here. So, like, I had a black screen.
Yeah, I did that, and then you adjusted it, and then when you sat down.
Yeah, then it was working again, but I had to fix.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
at that point, I had to fix something else.
19th.
Yeah, I was trying to think where I was on 19th.
It's
Okay.
yeah, that's a good way of putting it. It's okay. Good sentence structure right there. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's not the worst. It's not the best. It's there. It's got a cameo in there I didn't expect, and I won't spoil it if anyone actually wants to watch it because it's actually a cameo when it happened. I'm like, oh, she's in this.
Yeah, I was sitting through and I was reading all the names. Like, literally, I was being a smartass. And my dad was sitting in the other room and he like sat down and started watching it until like the names started rolling up and he's like, I'm not gonna watch this. So he walks away. And sometimes if it's like a subtitled thing, I'll read it out loud to him because he wants to know what's happening, but then he can't read it. So I started reading names. And it's like, I don't know any of these oh, that person's in this movie. I know that name. You're the most famous person in this movie. Hmm. Maybe that tells me something.
One of the two most famous. I'd say Alfie Allen is one of the other most famous in here.
Alfie Allen, yeah, he's definitely the close second for me between the two. But at least
Uh huh.
Alfie Allen is a main character and not a cameo.
True.
um, trying to think of stuff that to talk about.
What is with Netflix creating worlds? Okay. Set in LA
Mm-hmm.
where mystical and reality exist.
Mm-hmm.
And Lucy Fry ends up acting in them.
She was in Bright. She was in
Yes.
Bright. Oh my god, I forgot about that. That's funny.
That movie you defended, and I will still wonder how. And I'm hoping over time your opinion on that movie has fallen.
It's not as good as I thought it was at first. Like, whatever. Good movie, bad
It,
movie. It's a movie that
sorry,
exists.
it's a relevant chance I can bring it up because
Oh, I
it's a
know.
Netflix movie set in LA
Mm-hmm.
where there was these events that happened in the past that arguably would change the course of history.
Mm-hmm. I mean, isn't that every movie though? Other than being set in LA.
You not true. That's not every movie, but like a war between man and vampire that was waging through years and years and years.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that seems like a better movie to me.
Oh yeah, 100%. Also, this movie was not advertised the way I thought it was going to be. I watched one advertisement
Hmm. I did not
because it
watch it.
popped up once. I was like, oh, that looks somewhat interesting. I thought it was going to be more comedic the way the trailer was when I watched it.
Hmm. That's why you were kind of
Way too
excited for it.
yes, 100%. I thought it was going to be a little bit more fun. You know what I mean? Like, not like funny comedy, but like a bloody comedy, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like, where a horror comedy, you know, like
You,
give me a fuck,
what we
Cabin in the
do in the
Woods.
shadows.
Oh yeah, that would be perfect,
Hmm.
but darker and like less. I don't want to say campy because it's not like I mean they're technically campy in a way, but like it's for like it's the aesthetic of the show and it works. Um, but like I expected kind of that with less camp.
Hmm.
What we got was me going, man, Debbie Ryan. That's someone I haven't seen in a while. I haven't seen her since Sweet Life on Deck. And that was my thought process throughout the rest of this movie. I have like, dude, like, uh, Jorge, who plays Benny, Jorge Lendoborg Jr., who was Mimo from um
Bumblebee.
Bumblebee.
Hmm.
Um,
Oh,
I
he.
think he does a good job.
He's our
They're
Marvel connection of the week, by the way.
I had him up a second ago. What the fuck was he in? Oh, he's in Homecoming
Apparently.
and Far From Home. Oh,
Who is Jason? I don't know who the.
oh, he's probably part of that the club the club that they're part of then.
Hmm.
Oh, oh my God, dude. Fucking Beard does a fucking magic. He's the kid from the news thing.
Really? The one in the very beginning? Like, wow,
Uh
that's
huh.
what. Wow.
Beards are
Oh,
magical.
yeah. I mean, that was 4 years ago, but still. Wow. A big difference. Holy crap.
Damn.
Now, I mean, this guy's been in a lot of pretty big movies as a side character. Now he actually gets to be a main character. And I mean, he wasn't a bad actor, but
No,
it's just
I don't think genuinely general opinion. I don't think anyone was a bad actor in
yeah,
this.
no one sticks out to me as being bad. None of them were holding back anybody else. It felt like the only the only thing that I honestly would change in this movie is the Blair and Benny relationship. Like, I don't even mind that Jay, the brother, like, he honestly has no point in being in this movie. But I don't care he's here. I really don't. Like, him being in there just adds more complication to something that doesn't need to be more. Because the movie we're already getting is pretty interesting. But, whatever. And then, Alfie Allen's character, I liked him. I thought it was interesting to see him. But, like, the whole conflict of this movie starts with Victor and Jay over this dumb rule that ultimately doesn't give us any explanation. Like, we have no explanation why that's the rule, other than, like, oh, they're going to start hunting us. But I feel like that.
And we never really get that resolved or understand why
Mhm.
or like there's eh, there's nothing to it. Like that whole thing just might as well not have existed.
Yeah.
Um, I'll be honest. Like I also don't like the ending as well because of the Benny Blair stuff.
Yeah.
It also affects Blair and Zoe's stuff that I don't like,
Hmm.
and it just I don't know, it just doesn't.
But when we get to spoilers, I'll talk about the ending and how I would have changed it, even ever so slightly. You could literally change 3 lines, and I think you would have a better movie, or like 3 actions. Um, Especially mainly because of the ending. I liked the story that we got up until the point. I liked like the thriller. Like, it's not quite. It says it's a crime drama on here, but I wouldn't really call this a crime drama. I would more call this like a thriller, an action crime thriller, maybe.
Yeah,
The drama in there is the relationship stuff, and the relationship is pretty important, I guess, in the movie. At least they try to make it important, but it just doesn't work for me. And then I'm trying to think of anything else that's really important to talk about. And I would say no. The only other thing that I'd like to talk about is maybe the world that they've established, like the lore that they've built up. But ultimately, they gave us 5 minutes of that at the beginning and then basically nothing else. I mean, there were like locations that were kind
and
of interesting and people, but other than that,
like the
yeah,
cameo, I would have liked more of.
yeah. I would have loved to
I will
see
be
more.
honest,
Yeah.
because like they are a good actor, and like
This is their first movie since forever ago.
that we can remember offhand.
Yeah.
Um, and it would have been good to get more of them because I feel like it would have been a role that they would have done really well with because it would have reminded me of another movie that they were in. That
Yeah.
also involved fanged
Uh huh.
things.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's
Yeah.
it's literally the
Glad you knew.
second thing she's most known for on IMDb.
Um, and I think she would have done really well in this if she was given more.
Mm-hmm. But no, he was not given.
No.
Okay, I mean, I've got nothing else here, really, unless we want to start talking about spoilers.
Fuck it. Let's talk about spoilers. Use your popcorn.
Yay! I'm gonna give this movie a, just because I like the colors, a 7.
I'm gonna give it a 6.
I almost gave it a 6.5, but the colors bumped me up.
Fair enough. So 6.5 overall.
Yeah, an okay movie.
An okay movie.
Spoilers. Button, please.
Let's get
All right.
ready to spoiler! I don't know why I wasn't ready.
It's okay. So only thing that I really want to talk about in the spoilers is the ending.
I thought you wanted to talk about the Megan Fox cameo.
I mean, that too. We could talk about the Megan Fox cameo.
Didn't expect that.
I
I didn't pay attention during like the names popping up and all that,
Mhm.
so I didn't see her name, and I was like, or if I did, I didn't register. And then all of a sudden, like I saw her, and I'm like, is that Megan Fox?
Mhm. I genuinely think it's only because of the Jennifer's Body movie that they offered her a cameo in this movie. Because, you know, she's a vampire in that one and vampire here.
Yeah,
But still, I liked what
would have
she.
liked more.
Yeah, I'd like more. Especially because I liked, like, something about the way she looked. Like, be it the contacts or the nice velvety hood that she was wearing. I just liked the aesthetic that she was giving off there. But yeah, there's that. The ending, what I want to talk about is the whole movie is this build up with Zoe and Blair being best friends, who knows what else maybe, over the last, I'm going to say 50 years at minimum.
Yep.
They've been buddy buddy with each other. They get Benny because they think their Benny is the brother Jay, because Jay is a vampire hunter, but Benny isn't for some reason. Um and they go on road trips, stopping other vampires and whatnot. The whole time, Blair and Benny are getting closer and closer together. They're like, "Oh, I like you. I like you. I think you're pretty cute. I'm trying to save your life. Do this so you don't die." Uh, blah blah blah. She needs to get laid, says friend Zoe. Which, like, I'm all for like this intricate like love triangle that they had going on in the beginning. But then once we get to the end of the movie, it's obvious that Blair is going to pick Benny over Zoe because they just love each other. Even though they've just met for the first time ever and they've spent maybe 12 hours with each other.
Yeah, that's the problem. 100%. That
Mhm.
is the problem. Is they have known each other for a day.
Mhm.
The other two have known each other since the 60s.
Yeah. So
Or
Blair.
70s.
Yeah.
One of the two.
They said 70s in the
Okay.
movie. Yeah.
Still, that is what? 50 years?
Uh-huh. That's 50 years when they have been inseparable. And all because she has the hots for this guy. She kills her best friend. So yeah. I mean, she doesn't necessarily kill her best friend, but she's willing to kill her best friend for this
Well,
guy.
no, she wasn't even willing to kill. She was just willing to interject.
So like,
Which I mean, fair, but
Mhm.
she was willing. Like, I don't know, man.
like
I don't know.
what I wanted,
She was willing to fight.
Mhm. What I would have loved to have seen is there's a moment where Zoe pulls Blair over and is like, "We've been through this forever. What are you doing? Yeah, I can't do this without you." And then there's a brief moment where the camera cuts to Victor and he kind of like has a reaction to where when Zoe says, "I can't do this without you," he's like, "I thought we were in this together." Like, that's the kind of vibe that I was getting. So what I would have done from there is I would have had Victor kill Zoe and then have Blair and Benny kill Victor as a revenge for Zoe. And then because there's no one left, well, I mean, they might as well get together at that point. But that's not how it works out. It's Zoe and Blair getting a fight with each other because Blair doesn't want Benny to die. Benny then drives his car, remote control wise, into the house, which kills Zoe. And then in the commotion, Victor runs off to release Jay to distract Benny.
Hold on. I have a question.
Yeah?
How did that car get put in a drive?
It was always in drive. I mean, yeah, you got a good question. Because all we see is it can auto turn on. And then when he cut inside the car, he has a rock on the gas pedal. So it was always in gear to drive. It was just parked on a hill without rolling, still in gear, totally fine.
Still in gear. No brakes.
No brakes. Never mind
All
the fact.
gassed.
Yeah. Never mind the fact that you can't take your key out if it's not in park, but never mind. I mean, maybe it's a future car.
It's obvious. It's a future car, Steven. He's able to push the button with turning it on. That's already proved.
We can do that nowadays. I'm just kidding, but still.
We can't, Steven.
I know.
You literally 2 sentences ago proved your point.
I know. I like to have fun here.
I don't know if it's that or you just forget things in like the squirrel's time.
It's probably both. It's definitely squirrels.
Okay.
But yeah, but then Victor, in the commotion of the car ramming through the house and breaking the ultraviolet proof windows or whatever, he goes downstairs and releases the brother Jay. All in like 30 seconds. Brings him back up. He pulls Jay back. Victor pulls Jay back. Victor attacks Benny. Then Jay, out of nowhere, comes back up and tackles Victor into the sunlight, and Victor's dead. Jay's alive. Benny's alive. Blair is alive. Movie ends. Happy ending.
Blair is undead.
Yeah. And then happy ending, where Benny becomes a vampire because of Blair, and Jay is like, "I love you, brother," even though, you know, we're sworn enemies now.
I'm gonna join the Nightingale.
Yeah. What was the name of that like vampire hunting group that wasn't Boyle Heights? It was like New Dawn or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's Skyrim, but
Yep.
yeah,
It's the
Dawn Guard.
Dawn Guard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have the Dawn Guard in this movie, which they all suck, by the way. There's nothing about them that's intimidating at all. And then we have the Boyle Heights crew, which is Jay's crew.
I thought like maybe one of the crossbows would get stuck in like the car.
You think? No.
Because they seem to have some like they have flares on them somewhere.
They're magical freaking things.
Are they magical? We've never established that this world has magic, okay?
Oh, that's true. But they look magical.
They do. I'm wondering if they just like have sparklers on them.
Just so you can see where they're flying.
Uh-huh.
It's like a tracer bullet.
Yeah.
We're automatically firing our crossbow arrows with sparklers on it so we can see where the trajectory. Especially too, like I laughed so hard because earlier in the movie there was a sequence where Zoe has her entire upper body hanging out the window as bolts are flying past her in every direction. None of them.
I was hoping she would get hit.
I was too. There's literally a guy like right in front of her. Why doesn't he just punch her or grab her? Whatever.
It's like during that moment, I'm like, it would be too obvious. Like it would be too. This is too obvious. Her getting through this, okay?
Mm-hmm. But she
can't do that. She gets to, and then just randomly
walking down the street. Oh, shot in the chest. And then at the end of the movie, her being shot in the chest doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, because blood heals all, dude.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know. This movie's weird.
Yeah, it's just get rid of the...
Why did you give it a 7?
Give it a 6.5 then.
I'm just thinking about it. I'm not fine with you giving it a 7. I'm just like, damn. I had to go up and see what movies you've given 7s, and
Mhm.
actually, it's not awful what you've put it in there with. I mean, isn't it isn't, I guess. You put it up there with the
It is a
Fate.
higher rating than I should give it. Give it a 6.5.
Okay, 6.5 it is. Um,
A lot of the times, believe it, a lot of my scores are actually based off of your scores too. Because you'll say a number, and I'm like, I guess that makes sense. But
that's fair.
doesn't really matter. Like this movie, yeah, I don't know. Like it's just ridiculousness all throughout, and it's okay. It's just the next. What did I give? Since you have the thing open, is Mortal Engines sometime within the last 2 years?
No, that was 2019,
Okay,
so I couldn't tell you.
yeah, because
But I'm pretty sure we gave that at least. Like, I'm pretty sure they got around a 5.
I feel like this is a better version of Mortal Engine. Like there's a little bit more stuff fleshed out when it comes to the story, and not as much of a world that they've tried to develop it in. But I still prefer the story, like the world that they built, over the characters that they have.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair way of putting it. Yeah, 2019, that was a weird one where we had that theme going throughout it. Um, it's a world that's really cool that we want to see more of with no one interesting in it.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Um, yeah, I mean, this year, like, so where you're rating this, you to give you a couple ideas, you gave New Mutants, which is comparable. Um, New Mutants isn't a bad movie, but it's not a good movie. It's just
It's a
there.
mess. Like it could have been much better. It should have been much better until a bunch of like corporate studio
Yeah.
messing happened.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Wrinkle in Time.
I gave Wrinkle in Time a 7.
6.5.
Okay, I was about to say that one should have been lower.
Um, Spider-Man 1.
Okay.
Um, what else did you give it? 6.5. Um,
What did I give Scooby Doo to? I'm just kidding.
did we do that this year?
Not this year, I don't think. I think that was also 20.
I think so too. Um,
I keep going. Like, it's so strange how often I go
Space
back to
Jam.
Scooby Doo 2, and I'm like, that's a good movie.
It's not.
Great adaptation from its original source.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah,
You gave Amazing Spider-Man a 6.52. Wow, both the first Spider-Man movies, 6.5s. Way to go, Spider-Man.
yeah. Let's go, Spider Man. Let's go, Spider Man.
The
Excuse me.
other ones? Did we do the other ones during 20? No, we did Amazing Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 2 during 2019. Okay. I'm trying to remember scores because I wanted to see if we had all the scores available
Mm-hmm.
to kind of give us a thing for next month, but we'll see. To give us a base reading
Yeah.
of where we would put things. But that doesn't help. I think that man, that's weird.
You know what movie we should have seen this weekend? Red
Hmm.
Notice with Dwayne Johnson, Gal Gadot, and Ryan Reynolds. Also on Netflix. I think that would have been a much better movie.
Probably.
And then we could have put it with like any random spy thriller or any Ryan Reynolds movie or any Gal Gadot movie or any Dwayne The Rock Johnson movie. We could have had a fun week. Vampire, like moderately okay vampires.
That's pushing it.
um, ready to move on to the news?
I love that I can talk over it now.
Yeah, nice. Just gotta speed it up a little bit.
No, I don't. Why do you?
Because I think it sounds better when it doesn't take 5 seconds to introduce the new segment. If it takes 1 to 2 seconds, that's much better.
I can't do that in 2 seconds.
You can't just push up the playback speed?
No, I'd have to go and edit it and do all that. Also, that causes. Then you can't read it because, like.
Then it's a pitch shift.
Well, no, and then you can't, quote unquote, read it because then it would be a. That would be what N is then.
I almost feel like you need to look back and listen to an old telegraph because they go much faster than you think they go.
Yes, but not everyone knows Morse code.
Yeah, what they used to do is they'd repeat the message like 2 or 3 times, and they'd have the person transcribe all the dots and dashes, and then they'd look through the code and be like, okay, that's a this, that's a that, that's a this.
Yes, but they gave they gave space between letters.
Either way, at this point.
So you're not getting, because if I did it fast, it's this. So I just got to look at it real quick, just make sure I'm going to do it right.
That sounds better to me. Like, I know you're not getting the individual letters.
No one's going to make it out, though. No one's going to make that out.
I still.
And then there's no point in me doing it, and the bit's dead.
At this point, the bit is just us arguing over the bit. We've been doing this for years, and we still don't even have a concrete we're doing this.
I'm just saying, if I do, then I might as well just do the just random
breaking news. I mean, I really like the sound of that too. I mean, it sounded better. I like the cadence and the speed there better. Either way, movies, news. I appreciate you, Dev. I really do. I just got your text message asking if we still want to do this. That's funny.
I sent that hours ago.
I just got it.
I sent it at 1:03 p.m.
Great service. All right. Well,
anyways.
Yeah. I've got 2 things of news.
Okay.
Thing 1, last week we ended up seeing Last Night in Soho in theaters. It's already out on demand. So, if you haven't seen it, see it. There's no excuse now. I think you should watch that movie. I like it great. That was the first bit of news. Second bit of news. Apparently, up until about a week or 2 ago, there were talks that Chloe Zhao was going to be working on a Star Wars movie. Well, now that the Eternals have released and the reviews have come in, there's no longer talk from Marvel or Disney at all that Chloe Zhao is going to be working on a Star Wars movie anymore. So I think she was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she was fired because the movie got a bad review. Eternals got a bad review.
It got mixed, and that one, it was going to get mixed reception because it was a new thing for Marvel. It's, you know what's going to happen? It's one of those movies that is going to age gracefully, in my opinion. Its impact on things will grow because it is part of a greater universe.
It's a slow burn movie, and it looks beautiful. It's just, we talked about it last week. Whatever. You know our opinions on it. Let's see, other things to talk about.
I have something.
What's up?
Well, I'm guessing you already know what I'm going to bring up.
Trailer?
Yes.
I've seen
So
so many people talking about that movie trailer. I'm like, stop it! I don't want to know. I don't need
look,
your
I'm not
headlines.
gotta talk about it too
I'm
much.
yeah. I'm not overly worried. You can be all excited as you want.
Man doesn't make me hyped. Um, this is a warning, or hey, if you want a little thing where you might get a little insight on what's coming, and I was one of those people, either go see or completely avoid the Brazilian version of the trailer. It might already be down, but there was a thing in there that um, wasn't edited correctly.
Whoops.
Um, and it reveals an action happening in a scene. Um, and it lets things be said that people assumed was true, but it's one of those things where Marvel's doing its trickery with its trailers,
Mm,
which they do really well. Um, mind you, the scene that like in the Brazilian version, which wasn't edited perfectly, when I saw it in the American trailer, I'm like, something's off about this trailer. This doesn't line up, so I think something's here.
okay.
Um, and then the Brazilian trailer like kind of started circuiting, and I'm like, I was 100% correct. I love it, and I can't wait to see exactly how this is supposed to look because it's edited, but it's not edited all the way, if
Hmm.
that makes sense. Because a thing happens during it, but you don't know what's causing the thing because the thing is edited out,
Hmm.
but the thing that things happen in it, and it's from
I love how you're
essentially a
trying
ghost.
so hard. You're like, this thing happens with this thing, and these people do this thing. It's so cool.
It's just fun because it's one of those
Mhm.
things where like I saw that in the trailer before knowing that the Brazilian one was out there, with that thing being and going like, oh, this feels like one of those things that my brain's picking up on as being edited for a trailer. And I was right. And it's one of those things that you know me, I'm a sucker for being right on a trailer. It's
Mhm.
fun. I love it. It's my shit. Anyways, it's fucking awesome. The trailer. I can't wait. It reveals a little bit more of the story, and it's exactly what they need to be doing if this is what we're doing with this. It is like one of the story beats that they're potentially going to go over to kind of like make this work makes so much sense for
Mm.
where no way no where Far From Home ended.
Mhm.
So
Home, home, home.
um yes. So I can't wait. That is gonna be so fun to do. And
And so I have now determined that the original Spider-Man trilogy is going to be called the Raimi version. We have the
it's the
Amazing
Raimi
Spider,
trilogy,
and we have the Raimi trilogy. We have
the
the
web
Amazing,
duology.
yeah, the Web Duology, and then we have the Home trilogy.
Well, that's fair, but it's also God, what's his name? Uh,
We're just going home. That's all it is.
on I know the director's name because I hear it all the fucking time because he's also doing John Watts, the Watts trilogy. He's also going to do Fantastic Four. So, but yeah, no, it's I can't wait. This is going to be so fucking awesome.
We've got 3 more weeks for that one.
Nope, four, 4 full weeks of reviews, and then the fifth week is when we review it. So we still have next week's movies, and then 3 weeks of December, and then the week after that is Spider Man.
Gonna be fun. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I'm still personally like a little bitter as we went from 3 Marvel movies a year, no Marvel movies a year, 4 Marvel movies a year. But this fourth one is gonna be the best one. So that's the one I'm excited for.
It's gonna be so fucking awesome. I can't wait. Like, dude, someone brought it up, and it was like, Endgame was 10 years of hype and build up.
Mm.
This one is potentially 20 years of hype and build up,
Potentially.
which is
But only like technically, yes, that's technically correct. But I personally wouldn't count it as 20 years of hype. Because it hasn't been 20 years of us, oh, this is gonna happen. Unlike with Thanos, where with Thanos, after the Avengers, which was, I think, 8 years ago. So that was
yeah,
8 years of hype. And
yeah.
then now we have a year of hype with 20-year-old characters.
I guess we can say 20 years of story.
That's better. That one I can relate to better. Semantics.
So, and very different stories of Spider-Man being like potentially pulled together.
Mhm.
So, it'll be nice. It'll be
Very
cool.
nice. Well, I got nothing else here.
Next week's movies.
Next week's movie, we're doing Ghostbusters, bitches. That cover it?
Yeah. We should say which ones. We're doing Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters 2, and Ghostbusters Afterlife. Um, Seen a couple tweets from it tonight. So, opening night. And people are apparently liking it so far, and it makes me really excited. And it's a movie really want to see, so I'll probably be seeing it Saturday.
I will have to figure out a time to see. We're gonna need to work on something because my work schedule crazy. And in the past, I'd at least have Tuesdays off because every Tuesday the studio was closed. Um, that's no longer a thing for the holiday season. So now I have guaranteed. I don't have a single day off that I can guarantee that we can absolutely do this. So, we'll have to figure some at least for the
Same.
short while. At least until freaking Black Friday and the holidays are.
And
Speaking
we're
of
both
which,
in the same boat.
when's Black Friday? Is it tomorrow or is it next week?
It's next week.
Okay, because the J.C. Penney, I had coworkers, like actual J.C. Penney customers, who are like, Black Friday's tomorrow. I was like, no, it's day after things. Like, they're telling us that it's tomorrow. I was like, what do you mean? Maybe
You
the
guys might
sales.
be starting some
Yeah, we might
sales.
start the sales tomorrow, but actual Black Friday isn't until next Friday.
Yeah. No,
Black
next
Friday.
Friday is Black Friday.
Yeah. Because what
Which,
better way to
Jesus
say?
Christ, I was just talking to my therapist today about it. It's just
Mhm.
like 2021. What a fucking weird year where we have this year started with January 6th.
Yeah,
That was this year.
that was this year. And I
That
know you.
feels like 3 years ago.
To me, it doesn't, only because I watch like MSNBC and they talk about news articles from January 6th every single day.
I mean, I watch a lot of stuff that talks about January 6th a lot as well. But in the sense of, I'm more saying in the scale of time, it doesn't feel like that was this year, if that
Mhm.
makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Um, but also the fact of the matter is, like, time is also it feels like it's going forever while also simultaneously going by super short because it feels like yesterday was Halloween.
To me, it feels like yesterday was March 2020 when we first started locking down.
See, I will contest that there is a difference between the 2020 like timeline and the 2021 timeline. Because like for some reason, like 2020 was a weird time mush, but this is mushier, if that makes sense. Like it's it's mushing together faster, but also in places it's extending. Like in the past parts, it's going like this.
Mm-hmm. You're flubbering it. You're just.
Yeah. While in the most recent, it's like squished together. I don't know. It's just bizarre how time is passing. Um, it is broken. Time is a construct and doesn't matter.
I mean, time is relative. Think about it like this: a 5-year-old thinks a year is really fucking short, while a 50-year-old thinks a year. Or other way around, sorry. A 50-year-old thinks a year takes no time at all, while a 5-year-old thinks a year takes forever. because it's how many times they've experienced a year. Yay, relativity.
Yay.
All right. I mean, that's not really relativity. You get the idea. I got nothing else. Anything else before we end this, baby?
Nope.
Oh, all right. We're done here. Okay, bye. I'm just kidding. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, leave a review, all that fun stuff, all the social media, internet stuff. And we'll see you next week for some Ghostbuster shenanigans.
I'm afraid no ghosts. I'm afraid no ghosts.